Alrighty, welcome to Supernatural Signals, my haunted journal edition. If you're new here, this is my haunted journal. It's where I casually yap about what's going on in my life, especially anything supernatural I'm experiencing. I also share channel updates, everyday life with my boyfriend, and thoughts on things in the media like true crime, though usually the supernatural is always the main focus. On this channel, you'll find three types of content: this haunted journal series, short mini mysteries, and longer investigative deep dive videos. So if you're interested in any of those videos, please consider subscribing. Also, if you're looking for my short videos, those are over on my shorts tab. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so usually what I do to start off these videos is do updates on the channel, updates on my life, updates on entertainment stuff I've been watching. So just kind of like the pop culture, entertainment things I've been into lately. And then we get more into either true crime or supernatural stuff. So, and that's either supernatural stuff that's going on with me in my life, or just thoughts I have on supernatural and just whatever I feel like talking about, whether it's in the media or not. Um, Alrighty, so with all that said, let's go ahead and jump in like with life updates and things I've been enjoying lately. As far as life dates updates go, nothing too much. My podcast might be a little quieter today because Buddy is exhausted. I just wore him out, so he is sleeping with the air conditioning and having a very good nap. Kitty, on the other hand, is curled up right next to me and is getting all the snuggies right now. So those are my two babies that you'll hear a lot about in these podcasts because they are very in tune with the supernatural and they have a lot to do with my experiences, especially what I've been having lately. So other than that, nothing too much to report. Just same old, same old. Been into, again, video games, playing Silk Song. If you're into Silk Song, I just got the cloak, the double jump cloak, which is awesome, so I can explore more. I'm a little overwhelmed with that game because there's a lot there's just a lot. So like I said, I'm not necessarily trying to even 100% it, let alone 112% it. Just because there's a lot going on there, but I'm just trying to enjoy the game as much as I can, like find everything. It's just, I mean, the map is so big. And there's so many things. They put so many details in it, which for like $20, if you think about it, is like, I mean, days of entertainment, which is crazy. So I will never get over that price point. I think it's really appreciated because I know, like, imagine being like a college student and like, being a broke college student and like, wanting something fun to do. You have $20 and you can play that game for thing, and then people do modifications for it and thing. That's the one thing me and my boyfriend will like to watch. We're dorks because we like to watch. And it was so funny because I started watching them and he started watching with me and got really into it. And I was like, baby, do you just like watching this just because like, like I'm into it, like just try to be polite? He's like, no. Like he's like, but we almost watching like a sports thing where we're like double jump, blah blah blah. And then meanwhile I'm playing, I'm like, and he's like, go, baby, you double jumped. And meanwhile, people are double bossing freaking, I don't know, like every freaking boss, clockwork people, and all this crap. And me and him are watching it like in bed eating snacks going, oh my god, why didn't they heal? Oh my god. Like, and meanwhile he's like, yay baby, you beat the boss after 20 times. I'm like, yeah. Or if I lose, then Kirby's like, it was rigged, and I'm like, I know. Like, so but he's my boyfriend, he's supposed to do that. So we've been having fun doing that. He plays video games, just different types, but I don't know. I might convince him to get into Hollow Knight, so we shall see. But yeah, so moving on from that, sorry, Kitty wants all the snuggies. I swear, I don't know if anyone else that has pets out there, like has like one pet, like both of my pets are really clingy. I have Kitty and Buddy, and I swear it's like they trade off. Like Buddy's exhausted because I just, like I said, wore him out with playtime, and then Kitty like will come up and be like, perfect time, because usually she's on her tree sleeping this time, but right now she wants snuggies, so that's what she's getting. But it's like I get like snug or play with one animal. Like sometimes Buddy will jump on the bed and like as you if you listen to previous podcasts, um, and she'll be sleeping in our tree, and then in the evening Kitty will be up all on me. It's like, oh my goodness. So but I love it. I love the crap out of them and thing. I'm not complaining about it. I just think it's like cute how they do it. So all right. So moving on. I have been playing this new video game. I think I'm almost done it. It's called Strange Antiquities, and it's a really cool game. It's basically where you play as a apprentice at this shop that sells, I guess, like supernatural items that like help cure people of things or help, it's like magic stuff, and you have to like find the right items. It's a very like low key kind of puzzle games, identifying items. It's just a very like, and there's like a storyline that goes with it, but there's no like combat or anything like that. And honestly, the puzzles aren't even that like thing. It's just more like trying to figure out what items, and it does get complicated, but it's more like kind of like a brain activity, and then you're like reading about the story. It's really nice. Like if you're looking for something low key, and the artwork's really pretty, and it's a really, I think they have another one that's like that, but it's with plants, so I might play that next. But in between like Silk Song or my other Metrovania games, I switch back to that to kind of like chill. I'm also playing Foolish Mortals, which is really really good. I recommend that. I took a little break from that because I went back to Silk Song. I jump around if you can't tell. But so I'm playing that is very good so far. I'm like, I would say almost halfway maybe done with that, so I have to get back to that, but it's really done well. The storylines are really good. Highly recommend as well. That's like more low key too. You're finding objects, you're doing little puzzles, things like that. I recommend it a lot. So those are video games I'm playing. Kermie and I did watch Big Mistakes. Well, we're halfway done Big Mistakes. We're probably going to finish that this weekend. It's really good. Like, it's really good. It's fun. I think it took a minute to kind of get the flow of things, to be honest. Because the first episode, I was kind of like, but now it's kind of like picking up and everything like that. So I really like it. I never got really into Schitt's Creek, which is weird because it seems like my type of humor, and I just don't think I sat down to watch it. So Kermie and I might do that one afternoon because I hear all the great things about it. So I think I'll probably have to sit down and try and rewatch that. But I'm really liking Big Mistakes so far. It's really fun. It's fast action, and I don't know. It's really good so far. So if you're looking for something fun to watch, I suggest it. But yeah. Oh, and what else I'm excited for is the Focker movie that is coming out. I forget the exact name of it, but I think it's the third one in the series where they now have their own child. The character has Ben Stiller's character has, I think, is Gaylord Focker, which is hilarious. But I love that movie. I think it's classic. Where it's just where the cat is like going in the urine. He's like, Dixie, no! Like and then at the end, where he's like, can you do it that? Like that scene. Like as a kid, when I watched that movie, I would like drove everyone crazy because every 2 seconds I'd be like, "Can you do it that?" Like I don't know why, because at the very end he's like talking to the camera, and I'm like, I don't know. I like that sense of humor. I don't feel like they make a lot of movies like that nowadays, and so I'm really excited. And Ariana Grande looks really good at it. Like it looks like she did a really really good job. So I'm just so excited. So yeah, I think the cast is really good, and just by the preview, it just seems funny. It just because like those movies are like over the top, but like good over the top. I don't know how to describe it. It's like Elf, right? It's like if you describe the movie to someone, you're gonna be like, "That's so stupid," but even like the lies, but like the way they deliver it and everything like that, it's just so funny. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it comes out at Thanksgiving. I must have watched the trailer like 5 times. I was like, hee hee hee. My boyfriend's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, hee hee hee. So I'm very excited. Oh, I also want to see the new Mummy movie that came out. So hopefully I can check that out. If not, I'll have to wait for streaming. But yeah, so that's entertainment wise. Now, channel updates. Not too much, just dropped a new video yesterday on Egyptians, which I think I will talk about a little bit in this video. I'm trying to figure out what I want to like do for this video. Just forewarning, there won't be any personal supernatural talk on this video. I am going to save that for a video that I'll shoot like probably either tomorrow or maybe start even tonight, because it's just easier to put everything together, because I want to do like a summation of everything that's happening, and it'll be too long. So, and then add in the new stuff. So that is what I'm going to do. So keep in mind, if you're looking for personal spooky supernatural updates, that will be in a later video coming in the next few days. So what we're going to focus on today is, first, we're going to talk about David Burke that got arrested for Celeste murder. So that happened last night. Then we're going to talk a little bit about the Egyptian thing and kind of how that relates to the supernatural video that I dropped there. So that's the plan for today. And I will put timestamps in this video. So let's go. Okay, so Celeste Hernandez. So before we get into the most updates on this, just to give people a background, Celeste Hernandez was reported missing in 2024. Her remains were later found in a car. She was dismembered, registered to David Burke, who's that David singer, that had been, which he became famous through TikTok. That had been abandoned and towed. So it was found in a, I guess like the smell was coming from the uh, the vehicle that was in a impound lot. Investigators believe she has been dead for a significant amount of time before discovery. So she probably, I mean, who knows how long she was in there. She was just a baby. So I think, before I get more into updates, I think why I get so not, I mean, all cases are important, right? Any case that has something to do with being murdered or anything like this that deserves justice is important. But I think with this case is because there was so many wrongdoings before, and she was around so many people, and David was around so many people, and like everyone was just okay with it, right? It's like no one's seeing this weird obsession with this little girl, again, little girl, like, who probably just stopped playing with Barbies 2 years ago. Like, I mean, I played till I was like 12 or 13. So, I mean, that's me though. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was playing with Batman dolls too. So it was, my Barbie situation was very interesting, but, like, it was more like an Indiana Jones Barbie situation, but I still was playing with them. That's the point. And it's like, no one, like grown adults, like, you could argue that, yeah, David is 21, that he's technically, his frontal lobe isn't developed, but still he's an adult. Like, he can drink, like he's an adult. Like, even if he did this at 16, that's enough in my mind to know that what he did was wrong. Like, we're not even going to get into that. I don't think people want to know what I think about him. But all these people that were adults, like management, tour guides, tour people, like his the people that do his press, like, I don't know, all the lingo or whatever. There's a lot of people around, his friends. Nobody said anything, right? And it wasn't until the police started threatening, pressing charges on them, that they spoke against David, even after they found her dismembered body in the fucking trunk of the frunk or whatever the fuck. Teslas are stupid. I'm sorry. You can hiss at me all you want. Like, they're not stupid. The frunk. Like, when you tell me it's like the frunk, it just sounds so like White Lotus. But, it's, they're not stupid. They're just weird. But, like, it's like, I have a lot of feelings, because it's like you had all these people around, right? Females, males, grown-ups, not adults, parents, all these people around, and this little girl had no business being around these parties, especially in the way that she was with David. Just no way. So take away everything else, that what ended up happening, which obviously now everyone cares, right? Nobody said anything. Like, it's like, what? Like, and I understand that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. Not even I understand. I know that's just the tip of the iceberg that probably happens in Hollywood and stuff like that. But, and he wasn't even that like famous. He wasn't like Michael Jackson or something like that. But it's like letting, like, or any pop star. I wasn't just pinpointing Michael Jackson, so I know how the internet works. Just any pop star, right? He wasn't that famous. He was TikTok famous. There's a difference. But at the same time, like, nobody said anything. Nobody said anything. They always talk about keeping celebrities real, like, gotta keep them grounded. And I have my friends that'll still, like, tell me my shit stinks and blah 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 and stuff. But this is the stuff we're talking about. This is the stuff you say no, no, no to. Not like necessarily like, oh, I don't want onions on my burger. Well, you're too diva to say no onions on your burger. But you can go sleep with a 14-year-old. Like, like, I just, like, a 13-year-old at the time, and write creepy songs about her and get her to the point they say, well, maybe we don't know. Maybe she had an overdose or something. Technically, we don't know what happened yet. Doesn't matter. This little girl was a baby. She couldn't even drive yet, right? Like, and she's hanging around in a situation that was not meant for her. Like, it just upsets me because nobody did anything. And it's not like David the singer. I'm not dissing him. I'm sure. Well, I am dissing him because I don't give a crap. But I'm sure, like, I'm sure there's talent there, right? There had to be some kind of talent, but it wasn't talent like I said, Michael Jackson, uh, Celine Dion, Mariah Carey. He had talent, but I watched an interview of him and he was talking about how he sang a song like Alvin and the Chipmunks and it got views on TikTok. That's how he became famous. Like, there's a difference. Like, there's a different backstory. There's like some meat there, right? Like, there's a different, like, come up than Mariah Carey coming from poverty, becoming a global famous star because of her voice, right? And her talent and working hard on it, right? She didn't go and sing Alvin and the Chipmunks. And I don't care if I'm dissing someone's talent, he's a piece of shit. So, and the saddest part is a lot of those people probably didn't fucking say anything because they wanted something as stupid as a fucking Tesla. Sorry. Like, anyway. Um, But yeah, so he was arrested in Los Angeles yesterday, and he's being held without bail, from my understanding. And again, it's connected to Celeste's murder. So he was arrested. I saw a little bit of the arrest video. You couldn't really see much. It was just him in his back, and I think he was like in a hoodie or whatever. But yeah, so there was a lot of cameras, a lot of police. They one one thing about the police, once they have a case and they're like ready to like go in, and it's like a you know significant charges, man, they will bring like literally every person in the unit, man. Like, oh my goodness. But I don't know. From my understanding, from what I've been watching on podcasts and just the news and stuff, it seems like the LA Police Department has been doing a really good job on this case. I wasn't too worried that the charges weren't going to happen. It was more like, okay, when's it going to happen? Because he needs to go in there. But like knowing that they were doing the stuff, like hearing a few months before, and that February was when they were actually going to start like seeing they could indict him and all that stuff, that made me feel good about the process and everything. And I feel like the information they did give us, even though it wasn't a lot, it was valid, right? And that was kind of like the difference between the Nancy Guthrie case and this case, right? In my opinion, where it's like, okay, they didn't give us a lot of information because they're building a case and there's a lot of people involved that you don't want leaking crap around. So they kept things private, but they gave us bits and pieces of information, right? And then they built their case and then went it, right? Nancy, they're just like, here's some information. Wait, that's wrong. And I'm like, what? Like, that's how I felt with the Nancy case. I'm not trying to make light of the Nancy case. When I'm laughing, hopefully people, you got to find humor in these type of things, or no one's going to be able to survive, right? But yeah, so anyway, he has been locked away. Apparently, Monday is his arraignment day. They said without bail. I don't know if that's correct. We'll see on Monday to be for certain, because that's one thing I am wondering, if their judge is going to allow bail. I hope not, because obviously he has a lot of resources. He knows a lot of people. And yeah, going from there. So that's the update on that case. And it's crazy. It's crazy how TikTok, it, I've said this before. My boyfriend kind of like was the one that got me off. I'll give him credit whether whether I want to or not. But he was like kind of the one that kind of showed me what's wrong with TikTok, and it opens the door to a lot of people to get power really quickly, right? Influence on people really quickly. Again, I think it's a good platform to kind of like launch yourself if you're in the entertainment world, or if you stay on the good side of TikTok, or you know what it's for. But as someone that used to just scroll TikTok for like 6 hours a day, like, I'm just so glad I got rid of TikTok. Let me just put it that way. I replaced it with video games and reading and watching movies and hanging out with my dogs and cats and, the time I have off. And it, like I said, there's a lot of good people on TikTok and it's sad. But if, especially in 2024 ish, if you didn't start, especially 2025, like if you didn't start seeing the changeover with that app, I don't know what to tell you. There's something wrong with it. The way it's, again, it's not every single person, right? There's probably way better than bad people on there. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I hope people that use it, that have a platform on it, understand that maybe it's meant to be temporary, right? And like it's a way to branch out, right? So, yeah, because it can be, I mean, that song, like, it was on every, imagine, it was on every freaking video once back in the day. Like, all, you couldn't get away with it. Like, the I don't care, blah, blah. And he's singing about, you know, it, and you didn't even know, right? Like, it wasn't blatant. It wasn't like this is what the artist is discussing and trying to bring and provoke. Because I understand art can be dark. I can understand art can be thing. And I actually like that type of art, right? Because it gives you thought provoking. You know what it's about. You know what the artist is trying to say, and you give hypocrisies about the world and things like that. I get that. But this guy kind of like made it a romantic song, but like they made it something that it wasn't, right? And that's what I don't like. It's sheep in wolf's clothing or whatever. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that. Okay, so now I want to kind of pivot into more supernatural talk. Like I said, personal supernatural updates are on the way, promise. But just going to do some updates on the video I just launched about the system of life after system that the Egypts adopted back in the day. Um, Now, in the at the end of the video, like in the theory sections, I kind of like pivot from discussing about, how they do judgment, like what they do in the if you watch the video, what they do is they weigh a white feather against your heart. Apparently they rip out your heart, which apparently doesn't hurt, and then they put on a scale, and then like if your heart's heavier than the feather, then you are going to get eaten by Amet, who is this hybrid of a creature, and that's pretty much it. So, and talking about how it was like very documented, procedural, like, you know giving instructions on how to navigate not only that process but the whole what is called duat, hopefully I pronounced that right, where people can go in the afterlife, and it's kind of like a river area where you experience the afterlife, right, and kind of like start your process there. Do I think the Book of the Dead is exactly that? No. Exactly what is real? No, but maybe at that time it was, or maybe at that time that's what they thought it was, right? Like, I think there's very many layers to the universe, and I think for there being time, I think they maybe they experienced something and that's what they thought it was, and the universe wanted them to experience that. That's my thought on it, right? But I think the reason they had that process or experienced that process is for people like us to read now and kind of get our thoughts going on what the afterlife is. Because to me, the main takeaway from that idea is that it's procedural. There's rules, there's things that you don't do and do, right? do. All right, I'm mature. So, you know, and I think a lot of, what we're doing here on earth, I think this is my opinion from my experience with the supernatural and just learning things and talking to people that are and there's very little, but there's a few people that I talk to that have close conversations about with the supernatural, including my boyfriend and HG, who I mentioned before. But if you're new here, HG is kind of like a father figure. He's like a really good friend of mine. And um, what it is I think where we come from in the universe, I think the system they have is a lot more rules, but at the same time, a lot more freedom because we don't have to worry about things like no one has to worry about how to get food, how to have shelter, how to have fun activities, because those things are needed for way more important things than what all those distractions, right? Which I've discussed before, where it's like work and bills and things like that you have to do on this earth to survive. You don't have to worry about that. And entertainment's part of it, because without entertainment, you get depressed, right? You need to have some fun, right? But I think there's like, if you follow the rules, that entertainment comes easier for you, right? It's almost like an reward system where it's like, okay, you're following the rules. We have trust with you to do your job because we have, maybe there's wars going on, maybe there's things there's so much stuff we don't know about the universe, that I think it's like, when the lights out, lights are out, and if you don't do lights are out, like it's a problem, right? Like it's something where it's like there's certain rules to provide. And I think on earth, I think we're here for many, 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 many reasons. I think there's a greater overall mission, which I've said many before. Maybe I'll talk about another video of what I think that is. But I think one of the first, very initial tippy reasons we're here is, whoever's in charge kind of like plopped us down here and be like, well, I know blah, 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 but I would like to know blah, blah, blah without rules, right? And it's almost like we're in these like Sims game, right? And it's like, how would blah, blah, blah do this, right? And she knows these are what her rules are. And different rules might be for different people, right? But these are her rules. Can she follow it, right? Can she be patient? Can she handle this? Can she, stick up for herself, not only other people, but herself? Like, and everyone's scenarios are different. Everyone's rules are different. It's all customized from the grade, depending where you are in your spiritual journey. And it's not so much in my opinion, in the Egypt way, right? Because the Egypt way just kind of like gave you the idea that there's instructions involved. But I think it's more of like, okay, we're assessing you, and maybe you're very impulsive. So we're not, when we kind of like move forward or we keep going with our plan, we'll put you somewhere where impulsivity is a good thing, but we're not going to put you somewhere where you get so much free range where you can mess up this whole thing and we have to worry about you, right? Like, can they stay busy themselves? Because what if we're here for a long time, right? I'm just being hypothetical, right? I'm just talking my ass off. But what if we're here for a certain time? What if there's another pandemic? And as blah, blah, blah grows in her spiritual journey, she's really important, right? Because she keeps growing in her spiritual journey because we let her. Well, we might have to stop with her spiritual journey because when she's bored during a pandemic, we have to worry about her and put all our resources into her. And we would rather put it in Julie Lou, who will go and be fine during the pandemic, and we don't have to worry about her, right? I think there's an aspect to that. I think what I'm trying to get at is I think the universe is magical and heartfelt and exciting and all those things. But I think it's only allowable if it's perceived, if they can trust you, right? Because I think whoever's in charge never not forgives and never not gives second chances and never gives up on people. But I think it's a trust aspect, and not even just trust in overall, but just trust in certain aspects of everything, right? And I think that's kind of like the first step of being here. It's like how kind of exploring the world, seeing what you do with life choices. And like I said, no one's perfect and no one should be perfect because that's what makes you unique and that's what helps the universe. If everyone was all the same, I don't think we would get anything done, whether it was on Earth or in the universe, right? Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. It's just trying to see where you kind of fall, right? And go from there. So that's kind of where my thought went. I knew it was kind of left field from the main subject of the video, but that's kind of my thought process because everyone talks about the magic of the universe, and I do think there is. But I do think if you get really into the universe, there are scary sides that you need protection for, right? And then once the universe trusts you that they don't always have to quote unquote babysit you, right? Then they let you expand more universally. That's my thought process. I know it's kind of weird, but then we go. Here we go. Um, and yeah, and then the other video I kind of talked about in my last haunted journal about how like symbols, in the video I discussed like kind of like doing a simulation type video where you wake up and you see symbols and you don't know what they mean. I mentioned that in the last video, and I still believe that, where it's like sometimes when you draw things or you doodle things, it's like you're familiar with it, but you never seen it on this life, right? But it's like there's a connection to it. And again, I still think that's like kind of a reminder of a world that you just don't remember. And maybe in this lifetime, we'll slowly start getting introduced to it again. I don't know. That would be freaking awesome, though, because this world can be kind of boring. I know that was a lot. I don't think it was a lot. I'm going to stop saying that. This point is about talking about the supernatural and not just ghost stuff, right? I want to talk about everything and just share my spiritual journey because, recycle it out there because, maybe it'll grab someone. And if not, if these videos are too much for you, you can certainly watch my shorts or, my more investigative videos if those are more for you. But yeah, like I said, I will in the next two-ish days, I will have a summation video of all the stuff that's been happening since the beginning of this year, as far as personal supernatural things that I've been experiencing. I will say I have been experiencing a lot of glitches and they're kind of annoying me. So, and I feel like I'm not the only one because I've been seeing it a lot on social media as well. So that's how the universe do. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope everyone's doing great. Thank you for listening. And as always, stay curious and stay tuned into the supernatural. Thanks for watching.